Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Shaman Weaver Sheila Baker Show. So just take a moment, place your hands on your heart, and let's just shift up the energy from wherever it is that you've been today. Just draw your essence down into your body and allow yourself to be open and available for all that the universe has for you. So I wanted to introduce myself to those of you who maybe haven't been here before or maybe even have, and I haven't done that. So I'm a pioneer. And what do I mean by that? I mean that as shaman weaver, I take a number of modalities and I weave them together. Because what I've found over the decades is no one thing works indefinitely. We need to change it up. And so what worked before actually needs evolution and development. So what I have done, let me just make sure I put this out before I start a fire. What I have done is over the years, I've taken the wisdom of the spider that weaves a web. And you know, in the some native traditions, there is this idea that spider wove the web of the world. So, since that is true, since that's in my consciousness, what I did was something that I take different modalities and weave them together. And I weave shamanism and psychology with quantum physics to create something that I call the Dream Queen program. So, how does that relate to right now and today? I want to talk to you about obligation and the idea that you are a visionary in your own life. So first of all, let's just shake things up. And you can see that this is the rattle, and it's on my logo back there. All right. Here's the other thing, is that as I'm doing this, things here are backwards to what I'm used to seeing. So I'm retraining my brain to see things differently, which means that as the visionary, my vision is going to also shift and change. You know, your vision when you were 5 is certainly not your vision when you're 35, and it continues to grow and develop and change. So I want to introduce you to my first rattle, and I'll tell you about how this relates to the visionary. So this is the very first rattle that I ever created, long before I knew anything consciously about shamanism. What was going on for me was that, and excuse me if this is too much information, but it was actually pivotal in my life. So I was diagnosed with fibroids in my uterus, and the resolution was going to have my uterus removed. And I thought, do I really want to do that? And I decided I didn't. So I had to think bigger than that. I had to think, what is it that causes change? Well, sound causes change, right? And I went, oh, ultrasound. Ultrasound breaks things up. So I realized that I didn't have access to an ultrasound, but what I had access to was something else that broke things up, the rattle. So I created this rattle. It looks like a dancing woman, and I shook it over my over my uterus 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day. It took me 5 months, but the fibroids were dissolved and I didn't need to have surgery. In those 5 months, what I developed was a deep knowing that I create my life. I create the absolute reality of my life. I create my financial freedom. I create my emotional security. I create my own stability, and I create my own certainty. Because if I go to look outside into the world, you might not have heard this before, but the earth is quaking. There are 55 measurable earthquakes a day. There is no stability. We live on an unstable planet. There's earthquakes, there are tornadoes, hurricanes, volcanoes. And when we look outside of ourselves for the security that we're not going to find on the planet we walk on, what happens is we start to feel like nothing is stable, nothing is certain. But you know what's certain? You create your reality. So let's have a little sip on that. So you might not have actually embraced that before, that you create your reality. But when you look at yourself, how did you show up? I created this. No, I went and thought, what am I going to wear today? What earrings go to that? What rings am I going to put on? This is the vision of me at this moment in time. So for you, have a look around at your environment. You and somebody you collaborated with, perhaps you might not have thought about it like that, but you collaborated with either yourself or someone else to create this external reality that you have in your life. Your living room, your bathroom, your kitchen, your laundry room, your bedroom, your everything, including the relationships that you have and including the vehicles that you drive, where you live, is all your own creation because of the idea of being a visionary. So I'm just going to grab my journey drum and I'm going to drum for us a wee bit, and we're going to let that sink in. You are the visionary of your life. Everything that you have is because you had a vision, you had a desire, and not only that, you made that dream come true. So just hang on a minute. Let's raise the vibe to love and above. Let's take in the idea, owning, really, truly owning and claiming that you are the creator of your life. The beautiful part about shamanism, and particularly modern shamanism, is that you don't have to want to be a shaman. Nor do you want to necessarily be the healer in order to be able to benefit from the shamanic journeys. This constant rhythmic drumbeat, just let it permeate your body for a moment. This constant rhythmic drumbeat allows your brain to drop into a theta state. And in that state, we everyone has access to, this is the combination here, to non-ordinary reality. This is the shaman's most powerful tool, the shamanic journey. And yet anyone can do it. This dropping our brain into the theta state puts us into the quantum field of infinite potential, not just something that our little 3-pound brain can make up, but infinite. And in non-ordinary reality, the laws of physics that apply here do not apply there. So, as the visionary, you get to set an intention. Some of us feel very obligated. Have you ever noticed that about yourself? Oh, I have to do this. And when you go into the land of non-ordinary reality, you're making a choice. You're setting an intention. And you allow things to unfold. And in that unfolding, you see things. Like today, I'll tell you a little bit about a journey I had today. I just asked, show me. I'm aware that things are expanding in ways that I don't know. There's some transformation going on that I'm aware of, but I'm not certain because there is no certainty. There is only deep knowing, which makes you feel secure. And it all comes from within. So in my journey today, I'm with my guides. I've got my protection. I have my ancestors, because this is the way that I teach the journey. And I'm now in a 3-master ship. I started out years ago in a canoe, but it's now morphed into a 3-master ship. So I'm there, and in the hold, all of a sudden out of there starts coming an octopus. So the octopus comes out and he says, we can do the job. 3 octopus can do the job of 24 of your oarmen, which means that your oarmen can stay with their families. They don't need to go journeying with you. And so I said, oh, oh, but you're an octopus. How do I know that you're not going to abandon me where I'm way out there somewhere and you're going to jump ship? And then who's going to get me back home? So they reassured me. They dropped into the place of being a teacher. And what they said was that we love what we do. We get to be in the water. We get to clean the bottom of the ship. We get to be with our friends when we want to be. And yet we get to come here and be with you. So you can trust us that it's going to be okay. All this just out of show me. And what I then could do, what they told me, I was like, oh, okay, now what? They said, just go and relax. And they're taking care of everything. So in that journey, I got the stability. Not only do I have stability, but I have someone who's going to clean the vessel that keeps me safe and secure, my ship. So in these new emerging guides, in the octopus, if you look at an octopus and you look them up, what you'll find is that, well, first of all, their little suction cups are completely amazing. They can lift like something like 100 times more than their weight. They are incredibly intelligent. They can take lids off jars. They can see something and replicate it. They can see a bunch of jars with different colors in there. They can take the lids out. Their trainers can pour them out and they can put them back in those jars. Not only that, but they don't have the DNA of any other creature on the planet. So now in this journey of show me, what I have is I have 3 devoted allies who not only told me that they love what they do, they love the idea that they can replace 24 of my oarmen who can now stay home with their families. As the visionary, I set time aside to have this journey, to see what's next. Show me what I need to know. And in this unfolding, I don't need to feel obligated. I don't need to feel obligated to take care of anything. I can sit back and I can relax. And I can sit with my other guides while all of this is going on. That feeling of assurance that, that part is taken care of. I don't have to figure out how to get my ship over to a dock, get it raised up, get everything cleaned up. 3 octopus showed up and told me that they're going to take care of it. So in the shamanic journey, some of your obligations get fulfilled in ways that you can't imagine. I mean, imagine having a three-master ship, and imagine that you have contrived that there's octopus in the hold who are going to take care of anything, everything. I get so excited. So you can't contrive that. But when you allow yourself as the visionary, what's my vision? And you get clear about your vision, show me. And that clarity continues to come. What you have is you have self-reliance. And then you rely on yourself to feel into what's next. You use your imagination to create your life. And most of us in the metaphysical realm, in the spiritual realm, in the shamanic realm, in the Wiccan realm, the pagan realm, we've heard this. But have you actually embraced it? And when you become the visionary, well, yes, this is the first embracing of this. When you own and claim that you are the visionary of your life, you don't have to be thrilled with your life right now. Maybe you're not thrilled with your life right now. Maybe you want more. And when you claim that, oh, I created this, if I can create this, I can create something else. And so often we stop ourselves. And we, instead of looking at this thing that we've created as an achievement, we look at our shortcomings. We look at how we haven't achieved what so-and-so has. And I found myself doing this a few weeks ago. And what I got in response was not pleasant. So I thought, why am I comparing myself to someone else? And I remembered Khalil Gibran, who wrote The Prophet. And in that, he writes that if you compare yourself to someone else, you will either be more than or less than. When you compare yourself to yourself, how was I yesterday? And you notice that you're better, quote, than you were yesterday, then that's a feeling of accomplishment. You're not obligated. You're not obligated because of someone else's expectation of you or diminishing your achievements to make someone else feel better. You're no longer doing that, comparing yourself to someone else. Even if you don't tell that person, oh, I'm diminishing myself so you feel better. It's trained into us to do. So as you come to this place where you're only judging yourself with yourself and watching, change the influence there. Instead of judging yourself, watch for your growth. What were you not able to do yesterday that you can do today? How have you expanded into a new consciousness that you didn't have yesterday? And if you go and compare yourself to how you were at 5, you've come a long way. And if you go and put a projection out there as the visionary, this is where I'm going, then what happens is the you that is competitive, we're all competitive. We all have a competitive nature. That you that's competitive will say, we are certainly getting there without obligations. And the reason I keep coming back to this obligation is that we gave up our imagination and we gave up our intuition. We didn't do it willingly. It was hacked out of us. When we were little, someone told us to stop daydreaming. They told us 65,000 times by the time you're 5, you have heard, don't, get down from there, be careful, stop that. It's a miracle, first of all, we're a miracle, but it's a miracle that we can get to yes. So we do things out of obligation as opposed to an internal yes. and giving up having hijacked our imagination and being told that our gut feeling, our intuition was inaccurate. We were purged of those. So when we come to deal with something, we want to do it from a logical, practical kind of way. But our intuition and our imagination, especially in the realm of non-ordinary reality, in quantum physics, in the infinite field of potential, that's imagination. And so science has found a place where the Akashic records live. The Akashic records are every thought, deed, and action that everybody's soul had from its inception to the present and all future possibilities. Now, quantum physics has found this after thousands of years of us delving into the Akasha, into the unconscious. It has now found a spot. So now we are, I want to say vilified. I think that's the wrong word. Well, now we have proof, because science says so, that this actually exists. So now you can use this, you can use the shamanic journeys to answer any important question. But before you can do this, you have to tap into your rebel spirit. I am a rebel spirit. Absolutely. I have no doubt about that. But in order to make this leap, this quantum leap from the logical, the practical, it's got to be like this, to, wow, I could really achieve that, and it's a quantum leap, then you get to drop the obligations. You get to tap into non-ordinary reality. You get to bring back your imagination and your intuition. You get to rely on your own gut. The reason that this is important, and the reason I'm talking about this right now, is many of us feel like what we have to do is we have to do what we're told. We have to show up for things we don't want to show up for, but we do it anyway because we're obligated. When you go into a journey and you ask about an event that you're going to go to, show me about, well, a concert, about certain holidays, and you get information there, then with that external knowledge and your imagination, you can intuitively know, oh, is this a good place for me to go or not? You don't need to feel obligated just because, well, everyone else is doing it. You know, my mom would say this to me. I would tell her that, well, everyone else is doing it. And she was like, well, if everyone else jumped off a bridge, would you? I mean, it was no good reason for me not to go and do the things that she didn't want me to do. But that was her reasoning. And just because everybody else is showing up for something doesn't mean that you need to. You can listen to your intuition. Is this a good place for me? And if the first thing that comes up isn't Yahoo yes, then you know it's hell no. And if it's hell no, then you can step back from that obligation. You can use your imagination to get creative about how it is that you're going to support this idea that you don't need to do whatever the obligation is. You can be a rebel spirit. You can tap into your own spirit guides, your own deep knowing, and figure out, right now, this is not a good place for me. So when this happens, know that you're the visionary. This is your life. This is your creation. There is no one outside of you that knows absolutely what's right for you, which is why I teach shamanic journeying, because then you have spirit guides and allies who want your highest and best or better. They don't want you to show up for someone's birthday because, you're the kid and you're supposed to do it. What they tell you is information about how you can support yourself to step out of obligations, to actually be the visionary in your very own life. Because guess what? It's your life. And you get to create it. And what I realized from the journey that I told you about where it was octopuses, what I realized is that it's okay for me not to do everything I'm expected to do. I don't have to get underneath the ship and chip off the barnacles. I have helpers. And when you have this, your life just starts to relax more. You feel more confident. You don't look for security and stability outside of yourself because your intuition says, that's not a great place for me to go. Your imagination says, what can I do to support that idea so that I feel good about the decisions I make to show up, to not show up? And remember that you have made soul contracts. And the soul contracts that are working, you can continue them. The soul contracts that aren't working so well, you can alter them. You can decommit from them because you are the visionary in your life. This is not a life of obligations. You might think it is. You might feel that. Oh yes, I'm obliged to do this, this, and this. The however is oftentimes when we feel that obligation, we come with resentment. So resentment is resentment. And it's like when you redo something, you do it again. So you're sending it again and again and again. And guess what? 3 to 10 times what you put out comes back at you. So what do you get in the world? You don't get joy and happiness. You get resentment. You show up and they weren't even nice anyway. So you have the ability. You have the choice to be able to decommit, feel into your feelings, use your imagination to allow yourself to be the rebel spirit that you truly are. Each of us has a rebel spirit. Each of us has the ability to tap into the spirit world, get guidance, and live from that place. Shamanic journeys are one of the ways that I do it. And I started by telling you that Shaman Weaver is about weaving things together. I use the tarot. I use shamanic journeys. I use vision quest. I use affirmations. I use walking meditations. So all of these combine so that I create the life of my dreams. And it always takes correct and continue. I think about myself as, first of all, love. But so I'm a big ship of love, right? Well, sailors don't go, in spite of what you see when you see a documentary and say they went from Spain right to here, there's this little line. That's not how sailing works. Sailing tacks. They go this way, then they correct back to there, they correct back to there, they correct back to there. When you start to allow yourself to be the visionary, to really, really, really see clearly, clarify your vision. That's step number 1 of spiritual manifestation. Have a clear vision. When you begin to do that, what you'll notice is that things align more easily and that your obligations, by using your imagination and your intuition, they become creative projects for you. So, Shaman Weaver Sheila Baker here. You can reach me at shamanweaver.com. I'm even going to give you my phone number. It's 425-750-0510. And just let me know that you saw the show. And on my website is a call, book a call. So if you're enjoying these, if you want to know more about how you can be the visionary in your life, how you can give up obligations, how you can live full on with joy and laughter and love, then book a call. All right, everybody, have a fabulous rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, It's your imagination and your intuition that create the visionary in your life. Be a rebel spirit. Bye-bye.